You wanna battle? You came to the right place. Better pick up the pace against Mr. Solid Snake. Realistic and solid, dopest team you can't beat. It's gangsta, nah, you ain't got this technique.
Hey everybody, it's been a long time since a video come out of mine. Been a real long time coming. Anyways, man, it's been quite a while, and you guys, a lot of people on the Facebook page ACBA have been pushing me to do some stuff. Man, get up, put some videos out, do something. So today we're gonna do the Thor, the Mighty Avengers comic series Loki, part of the, I guess, Marvel Legends subline, we would call it, just something to complement our Marvel Legends collection. Here's the other figures that are getting released. Movie Thor, looking forward to that, see what that's going to look like and how that's going to play. This figure, however, is a figure that we've all been looking forward to. We haven't had a decent Loki in quite a while. Now, we do have the Marvel Legends series Loki, and that figure has amazing articulation, and that's something that Hasbro's been really lacking, is articulation. And, you know, it kind of kills me because they're coming out with great sculpts, but if they can't give us the articulation, it's almost like taking a nice dump. You know what I mean? It's like taking a nice dump complemented with petals around it of roses. Does that make sense? You know, like, it doesn't matter how much or how pretty you make it look, it's still a piece of crap. You know? And that's not good, man. That's not good at all. Here's the figure. Now, let's go over all the strong points and the things that I love about this figure and the things I don't like about this figure. The sculpt on the head is by far probably the best feature on this entire figure. That head sculpt is really amazing. A great head sculpt. I mean, I don't know who did that head sculpt, but that really represents the look of Loki. Now the fur that's been complemented around the Doc Samson body, they all look to be removable. It looks like the bottom fur on the boots is actually glued on there, but this upper piece of fur comes off, which we'll get to in a minute. Now the head can kind of look up. Now if you're not careful, it will pop off. But the head sculpt itself, look at the detail in the head sculpt. Even the pink around the eyes with the whited out eyes makes it look very menacing. And this is the more modern Loki that we know and love in the current comics. So this to me represents Loki at his fullest. Now we'll get into some issues about the figure, some letdowns that you know. Usually I'm pretty excited about. I'm excited to have this Loki figure. Don't get me wrong. I love the figure. It'll look great in my collection. But there's a few things that upset me. Although this character doesn't need a whole lot of articulation because he doesn't jump around and fight. You know, he's a mischievous character and he's mostly just dictating shit and mixing shit up, and that's how arguments and crap goes down because Loki stirred it up. So he's never really in the fight scene. He's just causing fights. One thing I do notice is this fur. it's hard to put back on if you take it off. So be prepared to take like 5 minutes putting this shit on. Anyways, let's get this going. All right, let's get into some more cool factor about this figure. Other things that I like. This waist belt. It's been sculpted great and it looks awesome. The flaps are rubbery, so they allow for you to move the little that the legs can move at the top. Yeah, you guys do recognize this. That strap is also removable, but this body is the Doc Samson body. And the other sad part is we were told it was going to have a T-joint hip, but it didn't come with it. Well, we'll get into that later. The fur looks great on the boots. That's also been glued on. And the articulation, well, let's go over the articulation. Unlike the Doc Samson, we have the double-jointed elbows. Okay, we do have the bicep swivel, as you can see there. Right, ball joint with the bicep swivel right under there. So that's good. And we have the wrist, right? The wrist swivels and it goes up and down. So it's got that extra joint in there, which is awesome. Same thing on this side. The arms have been sculpted really great, man. I love this little kind of menacing grip on the other hand. And he can actually hold a sword or a staff in his other hand. He didn't come with accessories. Now this ab crunch works fairly well. I have no complaints, believe it or not, that this doesn't have the ab crunch because he can actually look all the way down. Now, why do we like the Marvel Legends ab crunch with the waist swivel? Because he can look up, and this one doesn't look up. That's as far as you're gonna get if you bend the ab torso flex all the way back. That's why we love the ab crunch, because the ab crunch can do so much more. And there's only so much you can point the head up before it actually comes off the ball joint. Now, you see the head can look all the way down fairly good, but he can't look up. So, okay, well, if the torso flex doesn't allow you to look up, shouldn't the head at least be modified with a joint so that you can look higher than this? You really can't look up. Okay, whatever, that's fine. So that's just a little thing there that I don't like. You know, whatever. I can live with that. That is fine. One thing I can't live with is the fact that the T-joint wasn't modified on this body. Now, we both know Loki does not engage in battle. Yes, we know that. We know that Loki is mischievous. He causes trouble, and he screws around with people's heads, and he watches shit go down. Where does he do that from? He does that from his throne. So if I can't bend these legs up because there's no T-joint so that I could sit him on his throne, that kind of sucks. You know, I was thinking of using my Mephisto throne so he could sit on and just, you know, dictate shit or whatever, like a badass. But look, this is what you get when you try to bend the joint up. It goes sideways on you. So basically, I mean, if you want to get into the missionary position, you're going to have no problem. Right? This is as far as that joint will take you. I cannot bend that up. By God, I feel like breaking it. It just makes me upset. So, sucks. You can't have him sit on a throne, which kind of sucks because that's what Loki does a lot. He sits on his throne. And if not, you know, I guess this Loki's going to be great standing everywhere. Now, we don't have the ankle pivot, of course. We do have the double jointed knees. So, you know, it's a bittersweet, man. It really is a bittersweet. I can't give this a figure a perfect 10 because I'd be hypocrite if I did. It's a great figure. I know all of us, don't get me wrong, I'm excited about the figure, great head sculpt, but I'm going to have to break that joint apart, and I'm going to have to fix that hip myself so that he can sit in a chair, because I do want him sitting in a chair. He just looks way cooler when he's on a throne. But, you know, here's a little position you can put him in, right? And once again, great sculpt. I love the fur. You know, I love a lot of features on this figure. Just there's a few hinders in articulation, and I know that Hasbro is working towards that. I just wish that they would have added it to this figure, because this is a new figure with a new head sculpt, and believe it or not, there is a lot of Thor fans out there, so this Loki figure is very important to us Marvel Legends collectors. So the fact that we didn't get that simple articulation, it won't bug us once we rip him out of the package, because you're going to marvel at the sculpt and you're going to be like, wow, this is such a great figure, and you will be happy. But once you start getting into your articulated poses and you start wanting to pose them on your shelf and do things with them, that's where you're going to have the frustration, and it will come to you soon, my friends. Especially because us grown men like doing some cool poses on our shelves. Now here he is compared to Thor. So he's not as tall as Thor. He's a perfect size, to be honest with you. He's taller. Okay, check this out. He's taller than most Marvel Legends figures, but not as tall as Thor. But, as we all know, as Guardians and gods are all taller figures. So yes, I would say Loki is in great scale for Marvel Legends. Now here he is compared to Punisher / Shield Agent body. He does quite tower over it, but once again, Loki is considered a god, and he should be taller. Even the women, the Asgardian women, are taller than regular women. They're supposed to be. For example, Enchantress and all these other female characters, Sif, Valkyrie, they're just a little bit taller than regular women. So they should never be the same exact size as a regular woman. Which is kind of, you know, the problem we had with the Valkyrie that was released. She looked really small. And once again, great figure, but was hindered by articulation. So here is the comparison. Now, how do I overall rate this figure? Well, I'm going to have to give it an 8 out of 10. And this figure would have had a perfect 10 if it would have just had that T-joint put in. And we could have got those legs to come up for the sitting position of the throne. And if he could have possibly been able to rotate his back just a little bit more, or if not, his neck was able to rotate back to look up, which is also something that a lot of us like for these figures to have. Otherwise, this figure would have gotten a 10 if it would have had those minor issues taken care of. So a strong 8. I don't know how you guys will feel about this figure, but don't get me wrong, when you guys open it out of the package, you will marvel. It'll be great. You will jump with excitement. But after that week of trying to put it on your shelf and do things with him, I think you guys will understand what I'm trying to get at. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the review. Stay tuned for some more reviews. I'm back again, and hopefully for good. Take care. Bye.